Ya beda Nay.
Itu tuh nggak bisa diupdate gara-gara memorinya full udah pada lumayan parah gitu.
Ah, so.
Pakainya malam.
Sini masuk sih. Aman sih harusnya ya. So. Berarti sekarang udah bisa langsung masuk kah?
Belum. Aku masih nyelesain beberapa tugas ini.
Dia kalau udah ngerjain event itu udah ngapain misi harian sih itu.
Ya. Nggak maksudnya kayak nyoba karakter.
Bennett gue udah jam 10.
Kok kenapa? Nih, gantung nih yang baru nih. Tapi aku kurang suka.
Yang mana tuh? Hitam gua?
Bukan. Si
Jadi,
ini nih, setos.
oh setos. Dia masuk di
Gantung
banner
nih,
standar juga kok. Kalau misalnya nggak dapet sekarang.
gantung dia ganteng. Au.
Itu suka ngecek bapak-bapak juga tuh kayak si.
Ya, nggak jadi deh, nggak jadi. Apaan sih?
Alat musik boleh lah dibeli. Rp150.000. Berapa? Ini apa? Oh, boleh lah. Buat di tripod.
Duh, boleh nggak sih ini kakak beradik ketemuan
Itu
aja,
kenapa
please.
jaringannya? Iya, tiba-tiba hilang di. Nggak ngerti.
Kamu kurang ini, kurang kasih perhatian.
Waduh, kurang perhatian apa
Soalnya
lagi?
baru pulang kan, aku jarang dibelai.
Waduh. Oh, itu.
Apaan sih? Kebanyakan main Sky. Aku pengen nge-sprint, malah pencet spasi. Jelek.
Udah berubah dia, udah berubah.
Iya, maaf ya, maaf.
Gue mau lanjutin tadi, lanjut.
Yang tadi tuh yang mana ya, Kak?
Ya mungkin pembicaraan tadi tentang yang TikTok moderator.
Tobrut-tobrut itu,
So
iya.
so so so.
Biasanya kalau nggak bahasan mereka, komentar mereka, itu username-nya mereka tuh aneh-aneh.
Tuh. Kalau username mananya aku sudah ngeban 3 ya.
Iya,
Sama kemarin jadi 5.
iya.
Udah ngadi-ngadi.
Bannernya berapa hari lagi sih?
Bener.
Iya.
Masih 11 hari.
Oh, masih lama.
Masih.
Oh, hitam apa sih mbak-mbak ini?
Si
Oh,
Mbak itu oke, si Al Hitam juga oke sih. Kamu
duh,
prefernya kemana gitu?
nggak dua-duanya.
Ya udah, berarti
Heh,
nggak usah nunggu Furina kan?
iya.
Ya udah, simpen aja kalau gitu.
pengen iseng tapi
Ya udah pencet.
sayang nggak jadi deh.
Gak jelas sih.
Maaf maaf.
Seenggaknya
Yo,
satu lah.
ya udah besok besok.
Perasaan gue lihat apa tadi katanya? Perasaan gue lihat Cuko awal tuh kayak suaranya aduhai, pas gue selidiki ternyata V-singer. Dan emang gue suka suaranya Madam pas nyanyi. Gitu.
Aduh, itu maksudnya gimana kak?
Aduhai itu
Aduh.
ya cakep lah.
Oh,
Cakep lah.
kalau sekarang juga masih cakep nggak kak?
Bang Yuta.
Yes, baby girl.
Cakep banget.
Jangan dong. Tentang. Tapi ikut capek. Kayak besok aja deh.
Agak nggak jelas sebenarnya.
Jangan sampai please.
Iya, istirahat ya, manis.
Itu
Ya,
mantap. Hai.
iya gelis, ya rehat ya.
Oh yes, baby girl.
Tiba jadi burik dia. Lah, tunggu. Situ aku masih nyambung gak sih? Takut banget sih. Jaringannya nggak ada. Ini kalau keputus lagi nih, aku malas mainin. Nggak sampai yang wah karakternya tuh gimana gitu nggak sampai yang wah karakternya kayak tuh stres emang yang apa tuh stres emang yang birahi cu iya kah. Wah ini memang jaringannya lagi nggak bisa kan, tapi ini nyambung sini hijau maksudnya apa ya? Oleh sebab itu apa tuh menjaga kelancaran streaming. Oh shit. Oh no.
私が眠いから、
Ya,
先に行くね。
そう。おやすみ。
ありがとう。おやすみ。
おやす
Habib,
み。
Habibi, anjay.
Kayaknya nggak denger sih,
Ayasumi,
tempatku
Habibi.
lagi buffering soalnya.
Oh iya,
So,
gak apa-apa. Delete. Nanti sore yang bilang, Habib, Habibi. Oyasumi.
tadi dibilang dia ada DM-mu lagi tuh katanya. Nanti dicek dah.
Oh iya. Sobel, oh iya.
Coba dicek.
Katanya
Hmm.
WKWK hilang lagi gitu.
Hilang lagi ya sudah lah ya. Udahlah, memang belum bisa kayaknya jaringannya lagi nggak bersahabat.
Kapan sih kamu pakai WiFi atau apa?
WiFi? Sebentar ya.
WiFi cafe.
Ya kagak dong di rumah.
Kirain kan biasanya ya nunggu WiFi depan. Mari
Ya,
coba
disconnected
dicek
sekarang, kocak.
ada gangguan
Chatnya
nggak
baru masuk
dari
tuh.
ini?
Apa tuh apa?
Ada gangguan nggak dari pusat ini ya WiFi-nya?
Nggak
Pusat
tahu deh
internetnya.
tuh nggak ada dapet. Udah aman udah aman apaan belum masuk.
Hmm.
Di tempat saya masih buffering. Wah, gak iya sih ini.
Aduh,
Tapi ini
banget.
masuk, Kak. Permisi, di sini saya masih buka peta sih. Ya, di sini
Kasih
sininya
lagi
nggak
ke dad.
masuk. Coba. Ya, so. Oh ya,
Boleh lah.
Nah, kenapa jadi nyolong wifi di kafe? Enggak, kemarin itu kalau aku mau main mesti warnet ke warnet ke kafe dulu yang deket rumah. Kalau kagak begitu, kagak bisa. Biasalah sebelum punya wifi sendiri. Jadinya kita sering nongkrong di kafe buat main gitu. Oops, sorry.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's gone?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector
Wah,
would be
parah
strapped
sini.
for Mora.
Bufferingnya iya.
That's a long story. Ever since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse,
Wah,
admiring
memang
his
lagi
weapons
jelek
even
ya.
as debt collectors were descending
Gak
upon our
bisa nih,
house.
gak bisa nih.
He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them.
Madam
Just sat there
kemana?
staring at them
Iya,
like he
turu,
was in a
sudah lelah
trance.
katanya.
I'm happy he has a
Makanya
hobby
sebelum
and I'm willing
stream
to
tadi
support
dia
him.
udah main duluan
But
sih
making
sama
ends
aku.
meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listens. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum.
Dia
I
minta
said,
apa tadi?
if he refused to sell his
Lu udah tahu
collectibles
si
and pay off
Aikiman
his debts,
HSR.
I would
Kemarin
divorce
sempat
him and take the
ngeliat
children with me.
shortnya dia sih.
Whoa!
And
Dia
that led to an
lagi
argument.
Actually, it
ngeliat-liat
didn't.
karakter-karakter gitu. Dia
He's a
suka sama
quiet
si
man
Loka kalau nggak
who
salah
likes to
ya.
go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making to
Aku
me.
punya tuh karakter
You
demenan
must
dia tuh.
understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, he awkwardly mumbled that he would pick out a few items
Kayaknya
to
aku
sell.
bakal update HSR
His voice
juga
was so
sekalian.
meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take
Nanti
everything
setelah
back.
ini.
But
Jangan
then
maruk
what?
kamu.
If I didn't draw the
Sorry.
line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand. Amenoma Yuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse, and both men disappeared.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps
Makanya
he's too
jangan
afraid to come home
membuli.
now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family, and I want us to face our family's crisis together. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Amenoma Yuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can... Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find it. Anything.
Wah, suaranya hilang-hilang tuh.
Based on the information we've gathered so far,
Halo, Sora.
I can only surmise
Halo,
that the
Darmawan
sales
kah?
meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance.
Bener.
The fire at the
Kabar
warehouse
baik, Darmawan.
likely played a part in how the situation unfolded,
Setelah
though
sekian
its
lama
exact role is a mystery.
dapat
Do
terlihat
you have any
kembali.
thoughts?
Well, Paima was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil.
Oh,
Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
Right. I very much agree with you. It seems highly likely that we're working off what we know so far. There are too many things that don't add up. The chances are that there are still some clues left for us to discover. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted
perasaan 2 hari lalu
and
udah ketemu
passive.
tapi nggak apa-apa lah. Oh iya ya.
Neither seems like the type of person who is inclined
So.
towards initiating conflict.
Ya
Mr.
salah.
Nagato, being heavily in
Ingatanku
debt,
itu
is also the only one of them with the
sangat
potential
pendek.
motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have
Jadi
happened there?
terkadang, bukan terkadang, sering lupa.
Right. Although the time frame seems to
Habis dari
broadly
sakit 2
match,
hari lalu.
no other details that we've
Apaan tuh?
learned seem to link the two events
Syukur
together.
ya udah baik sekarang.
Amenoma Yuya
Jaga
lacks a key
kesehatan.
distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a
Minum,
practitioner
jangan
of the
males.
blade testing techniques of Amenoma art,
Ya
not those
begitu.
of the combat-oriented Ishin art.
Darn! We thought we could get 2 birds with 1 stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a
Ada
wild
ya.
goose chase.
Let's keep going, since we've come this far. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay, but
Oke.
where should we go now?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a
Terus sekarang
chance
udah
we may
mendingan.
be able to find some
Alhamdulillah.
shreds of evidence.
Udah balik muli lagi di real life. So. Ini kesini, tapi sebelum kita kesini, kita tadi perlu apa? Ada beberapa. Aku udah mendingan tapi aku mau ngapain? Baik. Rekomendasinya apa? Wah, SARA tetap rancor. Vanessa cuma ada satu. So, salam. Tetap rancornya ada satu lagi. Boleh lah. Kita sudah oke. Oh, dia. Dua puluh kalau perkuat lagi, maka ada satu yang masih di bawahnya. Ini dia. HP. Kita cari bahan bulik. No. Stop.
Let's light it up! Swasta. Aduh, Apep. Sekali, dua kali. Ini bentuk boleh juga.
gitu gitu silakan gitu. Empat bahan yang untuk buka ini dari atau malas betul. Udah tinggal berapa? 900 air. Di sini. Maaf ya Beneti. Anda jadi tripang dulu di situ. Kita lihat. Untuk pakai attack juga. Wow. Pemain di. Boleh ya. Bisa naikkan karena forward. Oke, masuk tempat orang. Kaget. Jangan. Semangat. Kalau kata orang mah kagak berasa ya. Lah, aku lupa. Game udah.
There is no escape. Inazuma is more everlasting. Let's light it up. Off we go.
Siram gak tuh itu. Strong as hell. Oke, dia bilang tuh. Ya udah lah. Ya udah. Siap. Udah. Maunya apa sih? Pamit mau keliling dulu. Oke, makasih Darmawan. Udah sempetin mampir kemari ya.
Benny's Adventure Team, assemble!
Pak. Nah. Udah berasa mah katanya. Tinggal KP.
Benny's Adventure Team, assemble!
Terus
Off we go! Everybody stand back! Adorn my night! rule. Teamwork is dreamwork. Witness my rise.
Gua baru
Be sanctified.
Everybody
One with
stand
wind
back.
and cloud.
Let's light it up.
I don't have it. Me too. I even don't have karakter nih. Ya udahlah ya mau gimana. Sama juga hidup.
The tides beckon.
Ih, 165.000. Hai Raffi, makasih udah sempat mampir ya. Lah, hilang. What are we gonna do? Ini tadi buat orang kan ya, harusnya. Yes. No. Dua. Gak boleh gitu soal mau apa. Nggak itu. sudah. Mana duit? I'm sorry. Lagi. Kan udah mas. Tahu sih. Mas. Pelan bisa. Itu 10.000. Thank you very much.
Wait. I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here somewhere.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. The remnants of the... Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant and approach slowly.
So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place, but the residue it left behind still hasn't dissipated completely. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time. From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters, but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled will. Their interests become fanatical obsessions. Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions, even as he put himself in grave debt.
So what should we do now? Go down and take a look?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside. If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the truth. You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this. Relatively speaking, the risk here is trivial.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the warehouse boogeyman was about to jump out at us!
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy source left this place. 2 ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear... Yes, let's go. If nothing else, it's vital that we find out where this Tatarigami energy is coming from. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps you, too, will perceive its ominous presence in the wind.
Don't tell me they did it again.
Yes. Sumimasen.
Our bond is strong.
Kan ada ini.
From this point, the trail appears to split into 2. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here and seems to be dissipating slowly. Quite possibly. Let's search the area.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely!
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Permisi, takut banget.
This way!
Bow your head.
It's...
Ugh! Look at this red stuff! What is it?
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is bone dry. It must have been written quite some time ago. Well, let's take a look.
Naga. Sensitif, Yuji. Apa?
According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopping here to write this letter when his strength gave out.
So, where is he?
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura seems to have attracted a horde of monsters, and I'm afraid he may no longer be with us. Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. There's nothing more for us to find here. Yes, right now we need to uncover some more important truths. If Amenoma Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him, the more people risk meeting the same tragic end.
Right! So let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the influence of the Tatarigami. For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would be their pursuit of further power and skill. All the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected, it seems that now we know the thread that runs between them. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not only explains the series of events leading to the two men's disappearance.
Wait! You figured it out? So these two cases are connected after all?
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. On with the search. We must stay vigilant.
Bukan kok.
Is this an answer from this world?
Jangan suruh.
Yeah.
Oh.
He seems to have stayed here for a long time.
Why here? Is there anything special about this place?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time.
Show yourself! It's no use hiding anymore.
Kaede Harakazua. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from before! What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Amenoma Yuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Amenoma Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Blade.
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light. Whoa, whoa! Surely you don't mean... Are you serious?
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organisms in its vicinity. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, and more recently using the sale as a means to affect, or rather as a means to occupy, Ame no Mayuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of the matter. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he placed all his hopes and dreams. As a descendant of the Kaedehara clan, you should be able to guess our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea on a ship bound for Snezhnaya. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little faith. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, his wisdom, his skill, it culminated in his creation of me. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade forging.
So, swords can become conscious and control people?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one, but in all other respects an ordinary weapon. But that gave me the opportunity to take action. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I controlled the minds of countless hosts along the way, each bringing me one step closer to my ancestral home. I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power. The might of Ishin art!
So Ame no Mayuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've finished using them?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to Inazuma.
You're awful!
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Ame no Mayuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Ame no Mayuya's body, I have found you, and by your hand, I shall defeat the Raiden Shogun! Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to serve as my host for what is to come. Now, give your body over to me!
Harus banget.
To me!
Kenapa?
Settle down!
Banget nih.
Be sanctified. Submit to me.
Banget betul
Not
ya.
oversight on my part.
Stand with me! Out of my way!
Rewrite history. Submit to me.
Selesai.
Do not stand in my way, or I will strike you down too.
Your bluff's fooling no one. You've lost.
Lost? I can never lose. It is this body that has reached its limit, nothing more. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this man. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a new vessel at will. The end result is the same! I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger! And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small setback. My consciousness shall endure. By any means necessary, and any medium available, I shall return and fulfill my destiny!
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Aminome Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. You were trapped. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new host without making physical contact.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Aminome Yuya and make your escape.
And what of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair in you that is so strong it threatens to overwhelm you. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you to bear. Each step you have taken has come at a great cost. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew, and the more you wished to run from the truth. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a delusional fantasy.
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal!
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities and showed a blatant disregard for human life. Even if you were to sever that divine light, is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired?
You...
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated the ones who wielded you as mere tools to do your bidding. How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony between a blade and its bearer?
Silence, you blabbering fool! I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream, and the very purpose for which I was brought into being. I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly. But you also underestimate my resolve.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me nothing. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self-reflection, and certainly not your so-called reality. It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaedahara clan. If you wish to save this man, then offer me your body in exchange.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet, and I will put your strength to the test.
What? Surely you're not planning to agree to his demands.
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Amenoma Yuya from your control.
Yeah.
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. If we don't do this, he'll forever be the Blade's puppet. The cursed Blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart is still not completely devoid of honor. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Amenoma Yuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should be able to put up some resistance for a while.
But even so...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too. Now, take me in your hand.
Wah, Kazuha pedang baru.
Kazuha?
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will. Thank you.
What should we do next? Have you got a plan, Kazuha?
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash its true power. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from the Adventurers Guild. Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by Ronin ever since.
All right. Please lead the way.
What about Amenoma Yuya? What should we do with him?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own consciousness yet, he is not in any immediate danger.
Are we sure this is a good idea? It's a pretty treacherous journey. Okay, fine. Just be careful.
Huh? Muasan yang belum cukup. Nggak ini. Pesan pengirim monsternya terhadap coba sebentar. Wow, ini kereta boleh ya sempat bos kamu lagi nggak bisa tunggu dia apa
We may leave at any time.
ya karena sejenis alat mampu.
Leave everything on this journey to me. Into the wind. One with nature. The wind knows me. Clouds high. The birds call. Into the wind.
Okay.
How are you feeling? You okay?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult to use. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, he is instead trying to match my fighting rhythm. Let's keep going.
Ikut film banyak.
It's my lucky day.
Apa dong?
The wind knows me. Into the wind. One with nature.
Lucky day.
One with wind and cloud.
The wind knows me.
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to Amanome Yuya?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's still trying to achieve his goal.
Kiri, kanan.
That hurts! The wind knows me. Falling leaves adorn my night. One with nature.
You win. This.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really struggling the entire fight.
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as it did at the start.
Perhaps this time we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you talking about? Huh? What the? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk.
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I've finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield commendable power. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the one who made you. The only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
There they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can help this time.
Don't worry. I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same.
Tentangnya yang mana ya, Pak?
Into the wind.
Oh, benar.
There's more. One with nature. Into the wind. As one with wind and cloud. One with nature.
Cut down.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me for who I really am. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. You are the first person to know the truth. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a ray of hope for me.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise my true appearance behind an outer sheen. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is. Perhaps I shall never reach that level of glory.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue.
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, I received aid from another power. Skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin art. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and savagery. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly trying to seize control of my body.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is an integral part of my consciousness.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I do not know whether you yourself have any intention of trying to fight it. I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination you were destined never to reach. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. And yet there was no way for you to turn your back on his ambition. You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my consciousness, and purpose. How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, "Do not worry. From here on, I shall forge your legacy." How could I go back on my word?
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to say.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if a bladesmith lay quietly on the bed. A newly forged blade lay by his side.
Wow. That was the Blade's memory.
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, he spent the rest of his life in the forge. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land of his birth. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith.
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were warped by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. The hatred within that power is what sent the blade down its ill-fated. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. No one was there to correct its errors when it was losing its way.
Shame it's too late now.
Yes, it is too late. Time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleeting moment at the dawn of his journey. He seems to have calmed down, though. Let's go and check in.
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging like it was just yesterday. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me the gift of consciousness. But darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Over time, I lost sight of the difference between gratitude and grudge. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition, I also defiled it.
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement and release Amenoma Yuya. But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire purpose for my existence. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of myself and my creator?
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too? Jeez, don't push your luck, mister.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Amenoma Yuya as promised. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has grown a lot milder. What do you think, Kazuha? Should we give him a chance?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He told me that he had wanted me to have the grandest opening battle. Alas, after that, he never rose from his sickbed again. Nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle since. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey. The next in a long line of transgressions. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle and experience a true duel between samurai.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you can convince him to commit to a fight with you. You must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire a good fight.
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has the stamina and will to fight.
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of honor. If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing to put myself forward. I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryu Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention?
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of ceremony.
Kan sini ada tes kan. Tes
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still can't let our guard down. Even now, Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that Blade hasn't told us everything. Still, even if he's way past the point of redemption, it's hard not to feel a teensy bit sorry for him. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. All right then. Successor of Ishin art, Kaedahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma art, Amenome Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
Into the wind.
Cepet banget,
Wind strider.
Aduh. Betul.
Wind knows me. Clouds high. The birds call. One with nature.
Ada.
Into the wind. Time to go.
Tuh. Ya, kejauhan. Ya, ngulang dari awal. Skip, bisa?
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux.
okay,
Yep.
okay.
We still.
Jauhan,
Are you ready?
jauhan. Yes,
Ready?
yes, yes.
Okay. Successor of Ishin art, Kaedahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma art, Amenome Yuya.
Kejauhan.
Honored to cross blade.
It is my honor also.
Bismillah. Ah. Tangan sini, tangan sini, sini. Taruh tadi tuh.
One with nature.
Sini, balik. Sini. Oke.
The wind knows me.
Waduh, waduh. Ouch. Nih.
One with nature.
Wah.
Fallen leaves adorn my night.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Into the wind.
Tenang dulu, sini, sini, sini. Sini,
Time to go.
sini.
The wind knows me.
Aduh, bukan dikenal. Aduh, gatel tuh gitu. Jangan, jangan. Ini dulu.
Thank you for the experience. Although he appears battered and broken, in your hands it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away. But that same sense of determination remains strong.
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished the experience. There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you himself.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness, nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victim's behalf. It is too late for all of that.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone and not let them stain the legacy of Ishin art. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has a worthy successor in Kaedahara Kazuha. I beseech you, please understand this.
Yes, I too trust Mr. Kaedahara to do the right thing.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma art.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like to visit the Amenoma smithy. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to go there for?
I'm not sure, but I think that all this is about to come to an end.
lagi sih maunya ya. Sedih sih ceritanya. Ya, sudah loh. Abang.
It's Yuya! You have returned!
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I was able to return safely.
A prized Ishin blade, turned weapon that controls the human mind. Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the realm of possibility. This is a great pity. But I have some good news as well. Ryuji from the Bonton Sango Detective Agency tells me that they've found the missing Mr. Nagato.
Really? Is he okay?
Yes, badly wounded, but he will live. And now that Yuya is back, it seems like the final ending to this story is a happy one after all.
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering in your ear again?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment.
What? No way! Hasn't it learned its lesson?
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that he won't use my body for anything nefarious. I have decided to let him do it.
Guess there's nothing we can say to change your mind, huh?
Thank you. I will explain my reasons later. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin. Please, stay true to your promise.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean?
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness.
Wah. Wah. Ngapain tuh?
You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish.
Tapi dia mengorbankan kesadaran dia.
Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, that's why he said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilling the bladesmith's wish.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It was the first time I ever heard his name. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bury this name deep within his heart. Only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to another.
Seems like he really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled the stubborn determination that blinded him to the path ahead. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them. I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. I've always been captivated by grand aspirations. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me, just as the sight of those who fought to repeal the Vision Hunt decree did. Your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same way. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me a little more than they should.
Oh, Kazuha.
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance whenever you need it.
Wait! Shouldn't we also go update Kujo Kamaji?
Oh, you're right. We need to tell him about the findings of our investigation. And it's also time to give him a response to the offer he made me.
Oh, really? Itu pedang itu.
You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. Though this was a treacherous investigation indeed, we're most fortunate that no lives were lost. The Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanome Yuya should conclude soon. I do not believe he will be charged with any crime.
Wow, you sure kept your ear to the ground.
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer. Please take a look at this blade.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin, a weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaidahara clan. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to study and pass on the secrets of Ishin art. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations, learning more about this blade as I go.
I see. I understand.
The Kaidahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue on this path. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya. That would not suit me.
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our intent.
I am aware, but I still desire to continue walking my own path.
Very well, I can understand. Then let's pretend this offer was never raised. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the Shogunate's assistance, please do not hesitate to inform me.
Great. Thank you for your generosity.
Where will you travel to next, Kazuha?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
Udah kayak layangan ya, Bang. Bagus.
You must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Nahida. I know I was ready to ask her a million more questions, but...
Ngintip dulu dikit boleh kali. Ya udah. Tunggu. Ini kayaknya dikasih ke ayah tuh boleh. Intip dulu boleh. Ayah tuh mana? Penggunaan tingkat menengah. Ini tuh. Mental skill ini. Pak, ulang lagi nih. Nggak masalah sih. Tapi ini senjatanya bisa dikasih dengan orang. Waduh.
Like, about these descenders. So, does that just mean people like you who come traveling to Teyvat from someplace else? And as for your sister, so many questions. Let's go find Nahida and see what else we can find out.
Nahida? Ini quest baru. Sepertinya iya. Ini mestinya siapa ya? Nama Milo.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatara Suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Okay, but...
Did one of them just mention Tatara Suna? But that's all the way in Inazuma. Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here's just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything. Great! Let's go find out what this Tatara Suna mystery is all about.
Dari Tatara Suna ya, perasaan mau ke apanya Nilo deh. Di bawah kan. Sekarang naik ke atas. Gimana ya?
Oh, it's you. Yes, I feel a lot better. The more I think back on everything, the more surreal it all feels. I don't think I could repeat what I did a second time. Yes, and it's all thanks to you. I see. You mean how fate brought me to the theater, right? Then I'll have to tell you about my teacher who Mr. Zubair had mentioned. Mr. Zubair opened his theater when I was still a child. There was a beautiful dancer, and from the moment I saw her, I couldn't look away. I thought to myself, the gods must have blessed her with such talent. But later on, she would actually smile down at me and say, just the opposite, in fact. Yeah. She said, dance is an art born from toil. It isn't a gift from the gods, but a creation by our own hands. It is a beautiful thing born from our life experiences. Whenever there is joy or something to be celebrated, people will dance. In other words, any place where people can effortlessly begin a dance will for sure be filled with the blessings of everyone's happiness. She wasn't looking for flowers and applause. All she wanted was to see her audience smile. Right. The same as what Mr. Kasani believes. I was completely moved by what she had said, so I started taking dance lessons from her. And later on, I began to dance here in her stead. Before she retired, she told me, for as long as you live, never forget what dance means to others. This is why Mr. Zubair and I never intended to listen to the academia. Even though it ended up causing everyone a whole lot of trouble, thankfully, everything worked out in the end. Although, I do have a small regret. Yeah, even though she has already decided to stop fighting with her father, they never managed to have a real conversation with each other. Before he left, Mr. Sharif looked like he had a lot on his mind. He probably has a lot of things he wants to say, but will now perhaps never get a chance to. Yeah, but I still hope that things can change. It never hurts to have hope. You and Paimon are more than welcome to keep attending our shows. Who knows? Next time, you might see Inaya on the stage.
Are you still worried about Inaya? Let's be sure to come back often.
Sorry, tolong kerjakan tugasnya. Mesti dulu. Oh, jam 8 malam kok. Besok pantes. Oke, ada apa nih? Perbuatan jam nilainya udah jelas tanggung gitu.
Everyone, I'd like to introduce you to our newest member, Hinaya.
Hello, everyone.
She'll be dancing for us from now on, so please give her your support.
Hinaya's taken her place on the stage! Oh, Paimon wonders how she'll look when she starts dancing. When you stop and think about it, happy endings like this sure aren't easy to come by. Nilou's efforts, everyone's wisdom, Inaya's determination? Huh? What do you mean by that? You do have a point there. The whole demolition thing was going overboard, but he really could have banned Nilou and the others from dancing. If he really wanted to be ruthless, he could have done some real damage, even without winning the debate. Oh well, it's not like we can understand how people like him think. Let's focus on watching the performance. Huh? Wait, look who the cat dragged in! Isn't that Inaya's father?
Apa?
Oh, it's you two. I don't have much to do today, so I just came to look around this place.
Are you looking for Inaya?
No, I am simply here to watch a performance. There is no need to trouble her. Well, I was for a time. My loss at the debate caused quite the loss of face for the academia, so there was a period of unrest. I used this opportunity to suggest that my superiors temporarily suspend me from duty. Otherwise, the rumors would probably persist for even longer.
Suspended from duty?
Yes, I am temporarily unemployed. However, I now have an abundance of time, so I can afford to come here and watch a show. I admit that I do not understand the magic that this theater possesses, but my curiosity has been piqued. I still cannot forget that young lady's perseverance. Inaya would almost certainly mature in the presence of such a person. There are no parents who do not worry about their children.
So,
I suppose she managed to hit a weak spot of mine. Never mind. I do not have the right to say that.
You're already here, so you might as well go see her.
No, that is not necessary. I will take my leave after the show concludes. Do not tell her that I was here.
telat, Pak.
Come on. Who knows if you'll get a chance like this again?
But...
Huh? You said you were going to make peace with your past. Show your father how much you've grown. Don't be nervous.
Loh, hilang tiba-tiba udah
has your
glitch.
back.
Hai, datang kembali.
Hey, let's go somewhere else. We should give them some space.
Momen bapak anak.
You sure they'll be okay?
I don't know, but I think we should have faith in them.
So. Ya.
Ah, yes, Inaya. I have something for you.
Ooh.
I'm still learning. It's hardly a masterpiece, but it's yours, if you'll take it.
Huh?
You don't have to take it. It's fine. Never mind.
Let's have a
heart-to-heart. Father.
Yeah.
Like father, like daughter.
Yes.
They're both so awkward with their feelings.
So.
Yeah. She probably would have snuck away as well if I didn't drag her back.
Do you think they'll be able to reconcile?
Maybe.
I'm not sure. A complete reconciliation may also not be the best thing for them right now.
Awesome.
All those years of arguments and misunderstandings can't be settled overnight. It might be best if they continue to keep some distance for now. But no matter where their hearts and bodies may be, they will always be family. All I wish for them is to be able to one day tap into the warmth of that bond. Oh, by the way, everyone's really thankful to you for helping out with the debate. So, we made you a little something. Hope you'll like it.
Waduh.
Isn't this Zubair Theater? Whoa, this is amazing. It's so detailed and polished.
Masih ada tag birunya kan?
We've also never made anything this complicated before. Mr. Zubair and Mr. Kasani took charge of the design, while Inaya and I made all the little pieces with the help of others. Miss Raykar and Miss Natya made and assembled the centerpiece.
Benar.
As adventurers, you two will doubtlessly travel to many more lands and see many more things.
Ya sih, katanya mau bakal laut naga lagi sih.
That's why we hope that your time at Zubair Theater will become a fond memory of your journey. You two are welcome back anytime.
We'll come back and watch you dance whenever we get the chance.
You're welcome. And there's no need to be so polite. You learned fast. Come on, take it. This is the story of you and me. It's a tale that I'll never, ever forget.
Hey. Bosan dulu selesai. Here. Menghormati tadi. Dari terus let's make some kosam. Namanya juga rare item deh. Ya, rare item juga kalau gak bisa beli. Gimana ya?
I'm here. Do you have a new story for me? I'll trade you some candied ashwagandha nuts. I made them myself.
Iya, itu ting.
I think the answer to that should be pretty obvious. You should be able to tell from just one look Like when you peer into a crystal clear lake and you can see all the fish swimming around inside of it. It's very pleasant here. Even the wind brushing against my toes feels soft and gentle. So of course, I love it. As much as a little bird might love exploring the forests and mountains, tasting new and different fruits every day, after a long flight, it still needs a place to land and rest its weary wings. So I'm glad that I can roost here in your nest for a while. Also, it's much more spacious here than a birdcage. Thank you for being so kind. I know that you mean it, and I'll make the most of my stay here.
Jangan dia bikin sesuatu dulu. Kurang banget sih. Jadi saya balas dulu. Ya, rumah bagus tapi males beli ya gimana ya.
Maybe you're not used to the place at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Aku ada buat sesuatu. Aku buat ini. Banyak juga panggung dia buat dia. Ada panggung satu lagi. Iya. Oke. Mana? Ada masuk ke bawah sih, berarti masuk. No lah. Yes, apa kafe? Ya, nah buat hari lukis mainan ini satu. Itu bisa langsung diletakin kali. Ya lah bikin paling satu juga sekalian letakin. Resep selamat datang. Cuma bisa bikin dua.
If you ever have any questions about the realm...
Kucing. Enggak sekecil dengan
It's you. Did something happen? If you have free time, we can go to Liyue Harbor together. If not, never mind. All right. I have no intention of getting close to the lives of mortals. But I know that you often enter and leave the city, walking amidst the crowd. The stories of these times, or their joys. If I don't experience such things myself, it'll be hard to understand your thoughts. Yes, to understand you. I had a feeling that it would be difficult, but after having such thoughts, I can't simply sit back and do nothing. I will control myself while I am in the city. I'll try to speak as little as possible. Let me know when you're ready to go.
Ini Oke.